Somebody asked me a question. They said, how did you survive homelessness? There's nothing wrong with the question. What I think ticks me off the most is that there's a deeper, more evil sentiment than just being homeless. Sometimes people look and they were like, oh, this person is homeless. This person is down and out. They're at their bottom. But here's the thing. When you ask me that question, you have to understand something. It's not homelessness that's completely the problem all the time. Sometimes the real root of the issue when it comes to individual growth and prosperity is stagnation. Stagnation. What is this video all about? I'm telling you about taking action. If you don't see growth in your life either every single day, every single week, every single month, or every single year, you are stagnated. If you are not wealthier this year than you were last year, you are stagnated. So when someone's homeless and you stay homeless for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a year, then homelessness is not your problem anymore. I'm dropping a bomb in this video, so be cautious, be careful, because what I'm going to talk about is going to be a little bit controversial. I haven't made a video in a while, and I apologize to everyone. I went on vacation. I was in North Carolina, and I also had to take on some business responsibilities because I'm taking on a few consulting gigs, and I'm going to be talking about that pretty soon. And I'm going to probably be taking that consultant option off my pledging. So if anybody wants to pledge to the page, I'm going to be looking for supporters as usual. The support is going to be the only option, and what I'm going to do is I'm still going to answer your questions here on YouTube. I'm not going to have any producers and or any consultants. I'm taking it off. I'm going to be working that thing on the side, so you can always reach me if you need to. If you're a business owner and you're serious about consulting, you can reach me if you want. So here's the thing, stagnation. And I'm going to write about this in my book that I'm working on right now. And it's not going to be a popular book. I might only offer the book to people who, well, I'm going to charge what I think it should be. So that's how I'm going to deal with that, right? I'll have my supporters. There's a good chance that supporters are going to be getting the book for free. So we're going to be looking into that. So anyway, stagnation is the issue. All right. Now, if you think that you got a job and you work a 9 to 5 every day and you drive by that person in your nice new car who's on the street and they're homeless, and in your mind you're thinking, oh, I'm in a better position than this person, or help this person, oh, I gotta help this person, somebody should help this person, oh, we have a government that should help this person, then tell me how you don't need help. Okay? You've been in the same situation, the same job for years, which I can respect. Everybody should be out there working and earning a living. You haven't worked on your dreams. You haven't started any kind of growth. You haven't continued. You haven't invested any money. All you've done was collect your paycheck and live from paycheck to paycheck, paying your bills and doing nothing. I hear people, when I tell people to invest, all I ever hear from them is, I don't have enough money to do it. That's a lie. That is a lie. What you don't have is the mindset. You don't have the mindset to get yourself started, to invest and enrich your life. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It has more to do with where your mind is, because at the moment where you have to go out there and buy that $100 pair of shoes, $200 pair of shoes, or some clothes, or whatever you got to buy, here's the thing, that homeless person does without. Unfortunately, some people become accustomed to that, but that homeless person does without, right? You can't sacrifice something you really want You can't sacrifice something you really want to invest in your future. And you can't do that every month. You can't put away $50 a month towards your future. You can't put away $100 a month towards your future. You can't put away $200 a month towards your future, $500 a month towards your future, $1,000 towards your future, depending on your annual income. Some people will tell me, well, I don't make a lot of money. I have an answer for that. I'm going to be dealing with a lot of this stuff, a lot of this content in my book, because there's a few things that have to take place. When you're not making the money you need to build on your future, you have two choices. One, you can either get a higher paying job. Your job's only paying you $25,000 a year. Stop being lazy. Go find one that pays 40, 45, 50. Stop being lazy, because part of it is a lazy thing. Our minds are not lazy. We don't want to prepare our resume. We don't want to take a chance. We're afraid to ask somebody for something. We're afraid to ask for an opportunity. So we stay stagnant instead of trying to push ourselves into where we need to be. So what do? We automatically decide that we're going to enjoy what we're doing and stay like this and joke around with the homies, or joke around with my friends, or shop, or sit with my buddies and sit in the corner and talk about the good old days. How things used to be, like somebody cares. Notice that same group of people that you guys are talking to about all that stuff are the only ones that care? Let me put it to you like this. I was going to do a series called Thoughts from My Kitchen, but that was just a joke. Anyway, so I'll put it to you like this. Stagnation is an issue. It puts you in the driver's seat of nonsense. And with some of you people, you're so worried about the wrong thing, you're not getting anywhere. Some people are so addicted to their little social media. You can't wait to take the next photo on Facebook and Instagram and show how you look in this dress, or show how you look in your new outfit. This is what people have reduced themselves to. Oh, look at my new sneakers. I got those new sneakers. I'm lit. I see some of you young folks. I'm not as young as you are, but I see some of you out there. You're screwing it up. You're messing it up. I remember when I was only a teenager, how I felt about things. There was no social media when I was a teenager. So I feel liberated. I feel free. Nowadays, you have social media and people are addicted like it's heroin. So when I was asked, how did I survive homelessness? I felt like there's a perception that's missed in people's minds, that the bottom is something that you cannot overcome. The bottom is just there because that's your fate. That's one of the reasons why I like being an American. This is one of the reasons why I like the systems that we have. Even though there's people out there trying to tear it down, there's some people who want socialism. I don't. I understand what it means to have freedom. You have the freedom and choice to either go to the bottom or go to the top. Nothing's preventing you from the top except for you. You are your own worst enemy. Unfortunately, in our society today, you have political parties and government and all types of things telling you that everybody else owes you a living. It's like schools are coddling children nowadays. And then when they go off into the real world, they get offended by everything they hear. So when the real world shows you what it's really all about, it's offensive because you were coddled. You weren't really taught accountability. Accountability is not something that's taught in schools anymore. So parents, beware of your children. Hold them accountable. When they get in the house, homework first. Some schools are telling kids, no more homework. Oh, man. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that because I'm going to start rattling cages, and I know some of you can't handle it. So I'm going to stay off of that, and I'm going to get straight to the business here. surviving homelessness? How do you get to where you are? How do you become an investor, an entrepreneur, a business owner? How do you do so well owning cars, homes, all that other stuff? How do you get from homeless to balling, as some people may say? How do you get from homeless to doing well? How do you get from homeless to motivating other people to take the leap? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Inside of all of us exists a little beacon of light, right? That little beacon is self-aware value. That's what I'm going to call it for right now. Self-aware value. That self-aware value is probably the strongest beacon that exists within your soul or in your body. It's an entity within you that carries most of your strength, right? Inside it is something called faith. Inside of it is something called persistence. Inside of it is something called ambition. So all of these superpowers, let's just say it has superpowers, exist in this little beacon and is inside your body, right? Now, it might lay dormant. It might shift from one part to another because you're not using it. When you become aware of its power and you start using it, boom, value. So what is one of my greatest attributes in life? For me, one of my greatest attributes is sales. I find that when I'm not selling something, I can go broke very fast and very easy. I find that when I'm not investing, I can go broke very fast, very easy. I find that when I'm not managing my money, I can go broke very fast, very easy. So when I hold that portfolio of value, how do I know I'm using it properly? Well, I take every single day and I try to measure it and say, how have I grown today? I take every single week and say, how did I grow this week? I take every month and say, how did I prosper and grow this month? I take every year and say, did I do better this year than I did last year? Let me tell the average person today here on this video, if I haven't lost you already. So make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and get the notification alert on your phone for every time the brand builder makes a video. So, there is one way that you can find, one evident way that you can find out if you are growing and doing the right thing, if you are doing better than you did last year. Something called a tax return. When you do your tax return, maybe one year you made $30,000. If next year that has not increased, then you are going backwards. That's how you could tell if you're doing better this year than last year. If your income hasn't increased from last year, then you are doing something wrong. Either you do not like money, you don't have it in you to do it any better, or unfortunately, because of circumstances, because we can all be wiped out. I can go back to being homeless at any given time. Anything can happen. I can have a serious health risk, or something can happen to me that could just become my demise. I could lose my mind. I could be taken advantage of if I'm not sharp. Because the first thing that people go after is your mind. When you're out there balling, you're a gentleman and stuff like that. Sometimes if a woman sees she's a hustler, she might decide, child support. Let me get with him. You could be a woman out there balling, doing it on your own, got your own place, your own apartment, doing really well. And then you find somebody who's got mommy issues and needs to use you for a place to live, some dude, or use you for all you have and get you on his level instead of your own, and start using you for everything you got until you ain't got no more. Because now, I saw a meme on the internet, and it had a man with his hand in a rope. Right? This rope was on his hand, and his hand was bleeding and bruised and badly injured. And then it showed the man letting the rope go, and the hand wasn't injured. Or like, loosening the rope. And then he let it go, and everything was fine. And the meme said, sometimes holding on hurts more than letting go. And that's where things get complicated, because you got some women out there, they fall in love with some guy that has no value, brings nothing to the table, and is completely tearing you down because he hasn't figured out his value, his spark, his ambition, all those things inside of him. That little thing that we were talking about. He hasn't figured it out. And now you all messed up. So before I end this video, take action, folks. Don't be caught up studying all day. Don't be caught up reading articles every day and sharing articles. Some people just want to read and share. You become addicted to the information that you are obsessed with. Read and share. The question is, what are you doing? Stop trying to show people how smart you are all the time. See, the thing about being smart, I'll tell you like this. The thing about being smart is that it's not for showing. Sometimes the smartest thing a person could do is to pretend not to be smart. Sometimes that is the smartest thing a person can do, is to pretend not to be smart. Because showing how smart you are can get you in a lot of trouble. I'm going to say that one more again. Showing how smart you are can get you in a lot of trouble. Stop trying to show people how smart you are all the time before you get in trouble. Instead, use your intelligence to build on what you're trying to accomplish. Use your intelligence. If you know how to use spreadsheets, use it to manage your life goals. Instead of trying to show it on social media and go snapshot. Look at this new car I got. Look at this new house. Look at all of this. Most of the time, people don't even know what I have. Or don't have. Seriously. But the good thing about it is that I do have very little. I don't try to hold on to much. I don't try to hold on to more than I can handle. I don't make 6 figures a year. So I don't run around spending all this money. I try to manage the money that I do make and try to grow and try to build upon that. And I try to keep my expenses in a good spot so that I can live. So when you're smart, the best thing to do is to keep your smarts in use for you. You know something about a really good investment? Act on it. You know an opportunity, you see a property that you could buy and rent out to someone else? Act on it. You see a job that nobody's trying to apply for and you're the only one who stumbled upon it? Figure out if you can apply for it first. Maybe it pays $20,000, $30,000 more than the job you're working at. I say like this, and this is one of the things that people do too much that they should stop, because you get too comfortable. You get way too comfortable. And that's a bad thing. You get too comfortable. So here's what I have to say. Even if you have a good job, you should always keep your eyes out for better opportunity, because you are the one who's responsible for your life. Your job is not responsible for you. Now, I know a lot of people tell you, go out and start a business, go out and buy these new cars, become a millionaire, billionaire, this, that. Listen, simply take care of you. There's nothing wrong with having a job. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a business is not for everybody, even though everyone can do a business. You may not be happy running a business. There's all these gurus around telling you all the time, work your dream while you're working your 9 to 5. Don't come home and watch television, this, that, and the third. Work on your dream. Make money on the internet, this and that. Yeah, I can respect that message. I'm not knocking it. But do you know how miserable some people would be if they did attain all that you're telling them to? There's a saying that money isn't everything. That is both true and false. That is both true and false. But in the case that it is true, value doesn't exist in a portion of money at all times. There's a lot of things that are much more valuable than money. Okay? If you have the opportunity to build on something, right, on your dream, and I'm going to tell you a secret why money is not the most important thing. Throughout the years, I've done consulting with businesses, startups, and all of it, and I've never even charged what I was worth to most of them. All right? And the reason why I never did that is because, for one, I'm mostly addicted to accomplishing things. And I hate to be admitting that on the internet or admitting that in the video, because I might have a consulting business that might contact me, and if I quote a price, they might be like, well, is that the price you worked with everybody else on? And that could be pretty dangerous. But here's the thing. The reason why I didn't charge everyone what I felt I was worth at first is because I have this thing about me. I have this level of integrity. If I feel like I cannot bring great value to what you're doing, I usually say to myself that whatever I want to charge you, I am not worth that to you. When people hire consultants, they're hiring them to get results, right? So yes, I can produce results. And the other thing is, when it comes to consultants, when an entrepreneur is struggling and they're having down times, the very first person that they get rid of, the very corner that they cut in expenses, is that consultant. It's not the smartest thing to do, but it happens. Why? Because when you're struggling in your business, you usually look at money management more often than you look at anything else. And that's just the way it goes. So one way as a consultant that you can really grow your business is to go after successful businesses and work them like never before. Work them like never before, because they have all the money that they can spend on you. I can go to some very successful businesses and charge them a ton of money. They could write me a huge check and I'll be on. Here's the problem with that. It's boring. It is boring. Boring. I like challenges. I like to find that startup, that person that just started a business or a company, all right, to the point where they could barely afford to pay me. Maybe they say something like, oh, the most I can do right now is $500, $400, $300, $200, $100. That's the most I can do right now. I might take you on, build you up to where you can afford to pay my higher price. I've been known to do that before. What would it take to get me to do that? Look at your revenue streams. Look at your books. I might need to comb through your books just to make sure that you're not trying to finesse me. I mean, if your business is, if I look at your books and your business is doing really well, then, you know, what you're pitching me is not going to happen. But if I look at your books and, you know, your business is just barely making it and what you're going to pay me is a struggle, I might say, good, let's take my base fee. And then I'll try to build you to that point. But anyway, I rambled on enough. Time to make some coffee and get my day going, have some breakfast, and handle business. You guys have a great weekend. Make sure you subscribe, comment below, like the video. All right? Thanks for spending this time with me, everyone. Enjoy.